All right, hey, today we're going to practice the Fishbowl, which is going to be your assessment tomorrow. We are going to be flying through this, lots of different things to do, but it's super important that you lock in so that you can have an idea of what you need to expect. Many students, after today, realize that they are not prepared yet. All right, so make sure that you're paying attention and that you are doing your best to follow the rules as we kind of lay them out here for you. So everybody take a look up here. So today you should be at the resource page and getting day 3 Fishbowl rehearsal out. We encourage you today not to use your notes. I know it's going to be tempting and you're going to want to, but this is really a great test to see kind of where you're at with your knowledge on both the disorders and also the therapies. Hey, I am not talking over you today. All right, so zip it. So I would like for you to try not to use your notes. If you need them, that's fine. But tomorrow you will absolutely not have them or your iPad or any other materials in the middle. Just a pencil and your brain, okay? So what we're going to be doing today is practicing first, kind of easing our way into it, and then we're going to make it toward the end, most like it will be in the Fishbowl assessment tomorrow. So what I want you to do, we're already in our new groups. We are going to, for the first 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a case study, and then as a group, you're going to discuss the case study, see if you can come to a consensus on what the person has, and then discuss what each of your different perspectives would do to treat the person. This is part of what you're going to be asked to do tomorrow. We're just going to do it as a group now, and soon we'll move into doing this individually. All right? So this is what your handout looks like. We're going to put case study number 1 up first. I'll give you 3 minutes as a group to discuss it, and then to come up with your treatment plan. So it's going to move fast. Don't spend a ton of time talking about your treatment plans. Each person should get 20 to 30 seconds giving the best method that they would use to treat that person's disorder. Okay? Here we go. Case study number 1, Jessica. So Jessica is a 28-year-old married female. She has a very demanding, high-stress job as a second-year medical resident in a large hospital. Jessica has always been a high achiever. She graduated with top honors in both college and medical school. She has very high standards for herself and can be very self-critical when she fails to meet them. Lately, she has struggled with significant feelings of worthlessness and shame due to her inability to perform as well as she always has in the past. For the past few weeks, Jessica has felt unusually fatigued and found it increasingly difficult to concentrate at work. Her coworkers have noticed that she is often irritable and withdrawn, which is quite different from her typically upbeat and friendly disposition. She has called in sick on several occasions, which is completely unlike her. On those days, she stays in bed all day, watching TV or sleeping. At home, Jessica's husband has noticed changes as well. She's shown little interest in sex and has had difficulties falling asleep at night. Her insomnia has been keeping him awake as she tosses and turns for over an hour or 2 after they go to bed. He's overheard her having frequent tearful phone conversations with her closest friend, which have him worried. When he tries to get her to open up about what's bothering her, she pushes him away with an abrupt, everything's fine. Although she hasn't ever considered suicide, Jessica has found herself increasingly dissatisfied with her life. She's been having frequent thoughts of wishing she was dead. She gets frustrated with herself because she feels like she has every reason to be happy, yet can't seem to shake the sense of doom and gloom that has been clouding each day as of late. Okay, you have 3 minutes as a group to discuss and come to a consensus on what she has. Go. I'm gonna put this here.
The one that was like on the very left at the top for the depression. Yeah, the one.
It's on the top left. What's it called?
I forget what it was called.
It's not major. It's not the major one.
No, major depression is one with suicide.
That's what I'm saying. So what's it called? I don't know.
Oh my God.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's
a
not
D,
that.
right? There's a parentheses with the D.
It's like
started.
Yeah, it's like this.
I don't know.
Dynamic.
I
don't know. Okay, but we're all on the same page. That's that one, right?
Probably should be the other one.
No,
because there's no highs.
Yeah, there's no
But she's
mania.
never.
Yeah.
She's never.
She is able to function.
Wishes.
I mean, you
she was
could
dead.
be bipolar.
Persistent depressive disorder.
Oh, is she looking?
We're not supposed to use it.
Well, she said you can if you need to, and we obviously didn't know it. So.
Well, we did know
We
it.
know what it was. We do know
Well,
that.
we were gonna get
The
there.
name.
Oh, the name?
What was it
Okay.
The name.
Persistent depressive disorder.
So do you just want to go down the list and say whether you would treat it?
Yeah. I can start. Wait. Because mine's so easy. I just get medicine.
Okay.
A minute and a half.
So you're biological?
Yeah, and I would give an antidepressant called Zoloft for it. Like this.
What was it called? The
Zoloft. It's an antidepressant.
yeah.
Mine's so easy. Take medicine. What was it called? Persistent cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay. I am. What's
I am
psychodynamic?
psychodynamic. I would probably do psychodynamic therapy using possible techniques like probably interference.
Like what?
Interference.
Who has psychodynamics? What would you use? Previous situation to bring unconscious to the conscious. What if you have done
Did we have to write what she had?
behavioral therapy?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I did. I already did.
20 seconds.
Okay, who is humanistic?
That's Reagan.
It's just like getting rid of negative thoughts.
Okay, time is up. Let's talk about what Jessica has. All right. How many of us put dun, 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 nothing? No, I'm just kidding. Major depressive disorder. Single episode. You get it? Okay, great. So why is it major depressive episode? Let's talk about that. All right. So everybody look up here. She had suicidal thoughts, even though that last paragraph said she hadn't had them in previous years, but she was having them now. And she has significant distress and impairment. So she's unable to go to work. She's calling in sick. She has relationship issues with her husband. It's not PDD if you chose that, because PDD is not disabling, and this would be considered disabling. Okay, case study 2, Marcella.
Marcella, a 30-year-old elementary school teacher, expressed frustration with her lack of response to antidepressant therapy as prescribed by her previous psychiatrist. When asked how she is doing in general, she responds that this year has been tough. When urged for specifics, Marcella divulges that she has experienced on and off bouts of depression for 10 years. Marcella complains that she has low energy and has had increasing difficulty coping with the demands of her job, which she used to love. In a separate interview, Marcella's husband revealed that Marcella has had several periods of unusual behavior in the past, during which time she was uncharacteristically short-tempered and jeopardized the couple's finances with impulsive and reckless decisions.
Okay, 3 minutes. Discuss with your group.
I think the last was about the short temper.
Yeah.
It could be like one impulsive one, right? Like one of the personality.
It could be, but I feel like it
But
places
she's-
an emphasis on like
The impulsivity isn't that borderline?
I don't think it's borderline because
Well, yeah, I don't think so either. I thought it was like manic because of like.
Or could it be bipolar too? Because it has having depressive episodes, but like also like the impulsive or reckless decisions. I feel like be like the highs for bipolar too. Because they're not like insane.
Maybe,
it's not,
yeah.
like mania. They could be bipolar too. Right?
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna do for this one. Can I tell you?
It doesn't really sound like
I'm gonna do
psychosurgery.
Oh my god.
Bipolar
It's where they
too.
go in and like
Like,
fix
there-
the things
lower
that are
highs,
impaired in your brain.
Because like the reckless decisions and stuff. Because she's not.
I can still function.
Yeah. Exactly.
I need
So-
like a quiz. I need like a quiz list for this.
Because
I
I
think,
actually
yeah,
just
I think it could be.
that would be
bipolar,
really
too.
helpful.
I think it'd be bipolar.
It's because
too.
I did this and didn't
Okay.
copy you.
All right, let's do that. Bipolar 2. I'm assuming you use lithium. If it was bipolar 2.
Well, she said that
That's how you.
Oh wait, we're doing bipolar too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll do that.
You're writing.
And lithium.
Okay.
Okay, but I didn't know we were doing that.
You're writing it.
Okay.
I know, but I was just writing it.
Okay. For
But she said that she wasn't responding to antidepressants.
therapy probably would use free association.
I'm just like, take the fucking drugs. Free association. Why did Lily say my mommy? Lily, what if I didn't want to do that, huh? Then what?
Okay. So I really don't know what I would do in this case because it's not exactly something I can just change her behavior.
45 seconds.
Like, I can't just change
Listening?
her behavior because it's not.
It might be like what kind of things? Like what are some things?
Because she has to like
Literally just changing her behavior, but I can't change
the
her
behavior and the impulsivity.
Well, it's
Like
kind of like
it's
well, that's
not consistent.
No.
Not consistent.
Like if it's not.
Is it
one, so it's not one.
It's a whole thing.
well, like name a technique.
feel like
I mean,
for
it could be
like-
like the job, right? You like.
Well, there's funning, which is like
So she
expressing
would
your
have high
feelings
and
and
low
behaviors
emotions.
stimuli.
For cognitive, we can use like cognitive behavioral therapy because it can help change her behavior.
It's like rational,
So weird, nothing.
whatever.
We'll just put something that.
The REBT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one could work
She can't really
too.
do anything for relationship either. So.
Yeah, one of those would be good for both the behavior and the.
That's a lot.
Okay, what are we doing for
Okay.
behavioral?
Moving on.
Did
All right. Did you
cognitive
put
behavioral
bipolar
therapy?
2?
Because that'll help you change your thoughts, which then helps change your behaviors.
Okay. Why? Why? You ask. Is it bipolar 2? How many of you put bipolar 1?
No, that's like
Okay, so it's bipolar 2
that's like your
because she
society,
has.
right?
Listen up.
And
Hey,
your-
stop talking. All right. It's not bipolar 1 because in bipolar 1 you have to have psychosis, which she does not. She did have a depressive episode, and she's showing manic behavior with the finances. That last sentence at the end, she was uncharacteristically short-tempered and jeopardized the couple's finances with impulsive and reckless decisions. That was the mania. And then obviously the case study put bipolar depressive episode. What did we put if it wasn't bipolar? What do you guys think? Did everybody put bipolar? Yeah. Okay. All right. I thought we said some people could not. Okay. It's case study 3. Josh. Josh is a 27-year-old male who recently moved back in with his parents after his fiancée was killed by a drunk driver 3 months ago. His fiancée, a beautiful young woman he'd been dating for the past 4 years, was walking across a busy intersection to meet him for lunch one day. He still vividly remembers the horrific scene as the drunk driver ran the red light, plowing down his fiancée right before his eyes. No matter how hard he tries to forget, he frequently finds himself reliving the entire incident as if it was happening all over again. Since the accident, Josh has been plagued with nightmares about the accident almost every night. He had to quit his job because his office was located in the building right next to the little cafe where he was meeting his fiancée for lunch the day she died. The few times he attempted to return to work were unbearable for him. He has since avoided that entire area of town. Normally an outgoing, fun-loving guy, Josh has become increasingly withdrawn, jumpy, and irritable since his fiancée's death. He's stopped working out, playing his guitar, or playing basketball with his friends, all activities he once really enjoyed. His parents worry about how detached and emotionally flat he's become. All right, 3 minutes.
I don't think they're
Never matters. Doesn't matter.
I don't think it's combined with anything else.
Okay, but listen.
Yeah,
I think
Because they're gonna listen to me, okay?
because they're not trying to like.
No.
The PTSD
Combining
is
two. They would tell us
it's
if it
tweaking.
was 2.
It's only been 3 months and that one PTSD was 6
Oh,
months.
wait, hang on.
And there's no evidence that it's been over 6 months.
They're basically,
So don't they diagnose that until they
schizophrenic.
diagnose it?
Where
No, not schizophrenic.
I know what you're saying.
The one that like detached and emotionally flat. There's
I'm
one
not
that's
fucking
like
say it because, okay, no longer the 6 months.
I'm still from the event, so I think it is PTSD. But like,
Okay, but
it's PTSD,
it's
but
only
there's
been-
also something else.
it's only been like 3 months, and I know the other one was 6 months, or like it's this until 6 months, but past 6 months, then it goes to PTSD. But it's only, well, I looked it up. It's the adjustment disorder, but then it goes to PTSD after 6 months.
Okay, so it's adjustment.
So I don't know. Don't count me for that. I don't want to be the one reason
You
it's
can put
wrong.
adjustment.
I mean, Wanda, isn't Justin like milder or whatever?
No, it's still traumatic trauma and depressed mood and anxiety. What do you say? I didn't hear. I don't want to be the reason if it's wrong. So if you guys want to do PTSD, we can.
No. That sounds right.
I mean, this says how the attachment motion fly.
Okay, biological. What would you put?
Wait, skip me real quick.
Was that the last one too? No, that's
Is he depressed? It's because I feel like I have to whisper to you so they don't hear, but
Everyone heard
that was funny.
I mean, it's like you have your choices like antidepressant,
Alright, just skip me.
anti-anxiety,
1 minute.
something.
Just skip me.
Okay, for behavioral, I'm gonna use systemic desensitization.
Oh, I have no behaviorals.
Oh, behavioral?
What
Because
did
I
you say?
can't do anything. Systemic desensitization.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna give him medicine anyways.
Typically won't jump to a med unless there are also very strong depression, anxiety signs with it. Therapy's gonna be probably one of the best.
Okay, so I'm doing therapy.
But there are usually.
What are you thinking for cognitive?
I'm psychodynamic.
Rational, emotive, we just separate like his guilt, I guess. Like it's not his. He can have the benefit anyway, I guess.
Wow,
I
I'm
do
stupid.
dream
I'm not
of
supposed to work. Oh my.
Okay.
Dream
In
analysis.
case you weren't ready for that. All right. How did we do? PTSD? Everybody get that one? That one was one of the easier ones. Okay. Why PTSD? If you want to know why, there was a traumatic event. Obviously, he was having flashbacks and nightmares from the traumatic event. Those are the main symptoms. There were others, but that was the main reason for PTSD. Okay. In case you didn't see that. All right. So now what we want to do is move a little bit closer to what it's going to be like during the Fishbowl. So for case study number 4, I'm going to put the case study up and you're going to have 3 minutes to read it on your own and silently diagnose it. So we don't want you to talk about it with your group members. Tomorrow in this little brain bowl, you're going to have a paper that's going to ask you to write down like what your name is and then what your initial diagnosis is before you get to hear what anybody else says, okay? So you're going to practice this now. After you read the patient and diagnose it, we want you to, on your paper, write down what your specific therapy method would use to treat the patient. Listen, this is a big mistake that people make in the discussion. You're getting graded for your ability to diagnose the patient and your ability to talk about your therapy method that you researched. This is where you put in all the methods that you wrote down in your notebook. You're going to talk about what methods you think are best. You're going to explain those methods. Don't just like throw out 6 methods without an explanation. This is your time. You have 45 seconds to talk about what you think they have and what your therapy method would do to treat it, not somebody else's. Okay? So we're going to practice this. So here is case study number 4, Mario. Mario has had a desire for power from a very young age. His mother described his 4th grade campaign for student council in which he spread nasty rumors about his competitors in order to win the election. Mario has been married to Francesca for 25 years and has had a series of affairs throughout the marriage. When Francesca has confronted Mario about the affairs, Mario has reacted in a rage toward his wife and always vehemently denies any wrongdoing. In order to finance his campaign for city mayor, Mario took out a $250,000 loan in his wife's name without her knowing. Mario saw no problem with using some of the money to bribe other government officials for support. Mario describes his behaviors as being driven and focused on success. Okay, let's take 3 minutes to talk about what you think he has and what your therapy method would do to treat him. And then we'll talk about it as a group. We're not talking right now. This is the individual part. 15 seconds. Okay, now talk about it as a group. Each person go around and say what it is they thought he had and see if you can figure out on your own. All right, go.
Okay, I said, oh shit, I said that, but then I changed it, so now I don't fucking know. I said either narcissistic or borderline, but I didn't know which one.
I think it was narcissistic because borderline is like.
Or impulsivity.
Oh, fucking there's too many. But then honestly, I had no like good treatment for it, so I said therapy. I would honestly, if I was a doctor, I'd be like, you need to go to this doctor because you can't treat it with medicine. And then my other therapy is like for severe depression. So, and then one's a surgery.
Yeah, I did narcissistic, and then I said cognitive behavioral therapy because he has bad behaviors. So you would just like see where his thoughts are coming from, and then like try to guide him to like think differently and like think about others more positively, and then it'll help with his behavior.
Yeah, I said operant conditioning to stop him from having affairs. Yeah, free association and interpretation.
I want you guys to come to your diagnosis first and then throw in your therapy methods. Come to one diagnosis first as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I ask her what would I do if there's nothing that can be even beneficial? Because the one is like, it's shock therapy, and it's like seizures to your brain while you're asleep, and it's for severe depression. The other one's a fucking surgery. And you're not supposed to do medicine on that.
You don't take medicine, so like I don't know what you do.
No, but like look, and on this it says you don't treat these with medicine. The cluster A, cluster B, cluster C's. I'm gonna ask. Should I ask?
Yeah.
So we're agreeing on therapy, right?
What if there's like a case where like I don't think any of my surgery or any of my therapy is the best because like can I, is that like a thing to do where I could be like I think I would send them to another doctor because
You can always come up with something for like every perspective can say something.
even if
Now,
it doesn't make like the most sense.
If it's a personality disorder in your bio, you might say, like, we're probably gonna need to treat this with a medicine, without a medicine, but here is a non-medicine approach to the biological perspective that might help here. So you want to have something ready.
Oh god, so I need to think of more
Habits
things.
that you can treat.
Oh,
That makes sense.
yeah.
So like, you know, he has personality disorder, you can't treat that. He's also showing signs of depression, you can treat that.
Oh, okay.
The therapist will like go over like every thought and behavior. Yeah, it'll help them like.
That makes more sense.
15 seconds.
Did you say yes? Charlie, yeah. And then she like tells the whole story, and then like you realize as you're saying it, like, oh no, I'm not actually.
Okay. This case study, we have two more after this one. You guys are doing great. So Mario was antisocial personality disorder. I heard some people throwing out narcissism. Let's talk about why. It's not that. All right, antisocial personality disorder, the characteristics in the DSM, there's repeated violations of others' property or their self. So that's the money that he is stealing. He's like swindling and sending like nasty rumors about people. He has rage or violence toward his wife. He has reacted in a rage toward his wife and always vehemently denies any wrongdoing. And then the disregard for others' feelings. He was obviously having an affair. He was bribing government officials. Remember, antisocial disorder can be violent, and they do things without regards to other people's feelings, future, like they could easily commit murder and wouldn't have any remorse. So that is why Mario is antisocial personality disorder, okay? Moving on to case study 5. So this is going to be most like the Fishbowl tomorrow. All right, listen up. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you case study 5 and 6, the case study 5 first, obviously, and you are going to, again, take a few minutes to diagnose what you think he has or she has, and then come up with your therapy method. Then we're going to practice the 45 seconds of speaking on your own. So after the 3 minutes, each person in your group is going to get 45 seconds to talk about the disorder they think the person has and how they would treat it. This 45 seconds tomorrow is how we are going to grade you individually. You will get the whole time. So let's say that you talk for 30 seconds and decide to stop. We will continue being silent until 45 seconds is over so that you can see what your time was. All right? So you need to practice this tonight. Practice what you're going to say about your therapy method. We also put in quizzes a diagnosis disorder practice. So if you're struggling with the disorders and like knowing what they are, we like highly suggest that you do that. People who did that last year said it was like insanely helpful to help them kind of narrow down what the disorders are. All right? So tomorrow, your group needs to get the diagnosis correct to pass the test. Someone asked, what if I know it but my group doesn't? And like I can't convince them. You guys have to come to a diagnosis. It's your job to convince your group along with the hot seat. Remember, there's going to be an extra chair for people in the class to come in and help you. So they are going to come in and help decide what the disorder is. So like if you guys are just struggling and we're between these two and we just don't know, that's what the hot seat is for outside members to come in and say, hey, it's what you are saying is not right. Or have you considered this? Or maybe someone's struggling with therapy methods. They might come in and say, hey, think about this therapy method for cognitive, all right? Everybody has to come in one time in order to get full credit, all right? So you have to visit the hot seat once. If you save a group, like they're struggling and they're not going to say the right disorder and you help them, we oftentimes will give bonus points for that. Several times if you save a group multiple times. Now, if you initially diagnose the person wrong, but after discussing with your group, you decide that you know the correct diagnosis, that's okay. Most of your points are with the group. You will lose a few points from missing it as an individual, but if you change it to the group, then you get those points back, all right? So the way that this looks tomorrow, there's going to be a table in my room, and the people will be sitting in the middle. It's actually just going to be a series of desks or maybe one table where you're going to sit in the middle, and then everybody will be around you. There will be a hot seat that people can come into. We limit the hot seat 10 to 15 seconds so people aren't going to be able to come in there and do like a huge, summary of their life. Like they're going to give their information, and then they will hop out. All right? So the way this works, we're going to practice it now. I'm going to put a case study up. You're going to read it. You get 3 minutes to write down what you think it is, how you would treat that patient. Then we're going to go around and everyone's going to speak for 45 seconds. You need to speak the entire time. If you go over, we'll just stop you and you can finish in the 5-minute group discussion. This is when the hot seat opens and when you have to just decide as a group what the person has and then the correct treatment plan. Okay? Any questions? All right, let's practice it. All right? Here is the rubric that we're going to be using. So we will make sure, or we will listen for your correct diagnosis, your therapy method, and that you meet your time limit. If you miss the initial diagnosis, you'll lose some points for that. If you don't mention your therapy method at all in your 45 seconds, then you'll lose points for that. Make sure that you work that in somehow. And then for the group discussion, everybody has to give at least one meaningful conversation. You can't just say, yeah, I agree with you. Okay. You need to contribute something. If we have to prompt you to get into the discussion like, hey, Bob, you haven't said anything. Do you have anything to add about humanistic? Then you lose points for that. So you need to take the initiative to speak on your own. All right? Everybody has to enter the hot seat. That could be a letter grade if you don't go into the hot seat. So please make sure that you are doing that. All right? So that's what the rubrics generally look like. So now, this is where we are. Case study 5. I'm going to put case study 5 up. You're going to diagnose this. What would be your treatment options? And are there any questions about the case you have to add to the discussion? This is what your handout will look like tomorrow when you are in your group. All right. Here's Miss Helga. Come on, Helga. Oh. All right, I'm just going to read it for you. Helga is a 21-year-old business major at a large university who has expressed experiencing a series of highs and lows. Her sorority sisters are always trying to guess which Helga they will get. On any given weekend, the party animal or the roommate who won't leave her bed. Over the past few weeks, regardless of her mood, her family and friends have noticed increasingly bizarre behaviors. On many occasions, they've overheard her whispering in an agitated voice, even though there is no one nearby. Lately, she has refused to answer or make calls on her cell phone, claiming that if she does, it will activate a deadly chip that was implanted in her brain by evil aliens. Her parents have tried to get her to go with them to a psychiatrist for an evaluation, but she refuses. She has accused them on several occasions of conspiring with the aliens to have her killed so they can remove her brain and put it inside one of their own. All right, so you have 3 minutes first. We are not discussing this as a group. You have 3 minutes to decide what you think she has and then how you would treat Helga. And I'm going to put this back up so that you guys can refer to it. Seconds. All right. Now we're going to practice the 45 seconds. All right. Biological person is up first. God. You're going to talk about what you think they have and then what you would do to treat it. 45 seconds starts now. Go.
Oh my God. They have schizophrenia, and I was debating between schizophrenia and bipolar 1. But I didn't say bipolar 1 because she is not showing like suicidal. She just thinks that someone's going to kill her, but she doesn't want to like kill herself, you know? And then if it's schizophrenia, I would treat it with a neuroleptic, which doesn't like cure the schizophrenia, but it reduces symptoms. Oh God, I still have 20 seconds.
Wasn't there a thing? You say like lithium or something?
It's my turn.
Only
No,
the person.
lithium is just for bipolar.
No one else is allowed to talk except the person who is biological.
Yeah, it's my turn to talk. Everybody be quiet.
Okay, my turn.
Oh God, I saw.
All right, next person. Here we go. Let's go psychodynamic. Begin.
I thought it was schizophrenia as well, and I would treat her with free association therapy, which just allows them to say whatever comes to mind to possibly reveal insight onto her condition. I would also probably use interpretation, which you basically look at specific behaviors that they're expressing, which can lead to conclusions about their past and childhood experiences, which probably could have caused this disorder. Yeah.
Okay, you took a way more time than me.
All right. Humanistic. Go.
Okay, that's me. I also said schizophrenia because of the hearing voices and the the changes in personality a little bit, and I would definitely use empathetic understanding, which is like basically where you just make it very clear that you understand and you're very like just like understanding what they're saying, and then also reflective listening, because it like if you it's where you repeat back to them what they're telling you, and maybe that can like provide a new perspective on what they're saying, maybe help them to realize things that they couldn't realize before.
All right, behavioral.
I said bipolar one because it says she's experiencing highs and lows. It also says like the party animal or laying in her bed, which is what gave me that. I would use flooding, and so that I would make her go to a psychiatrist and not let her leave until she calms down and the evaluation is done. Because flooding is like forcing them to like be in the anxiety-inducing stimuli, because there's really nothing good for the behavioral part of this. So yeah, but that's why I had bipolar one, because it said highs and lows.
Okay, we have one group that has 6, so you guys are going to go one more 45-second round. Everybody else is going to do your 3 minutes. Come to one diagnosis and the best treatment plan. 45 seconds for you starts now.
Okay, do you want me to go first or do you want me to go first?
Just go. Yeah, you can go.
I think this is schizoaffective because there is mood swings, and that is not a schizophrenia symptom, but it is for schizoaffective. It also said that the schizophrenia symptoms only started over the past month or several weeks, and schizophrenia needed longer time to properly diagnose. For me, I would use rational emotive behavioral therapy to combat the false perceptions about how everyone else is acting and treat the symptoms out.
Okay, you guys, everybody keep going. You guys can now take the last 2 minutes to discuss as a group what they have.
Okay, so the only reason I don't think it's schizoaffective or whatever is because that is that's past suicide, or that's past schizophrenia where you're having suicidal thoughts. Schizoaffective
It is a mix between
bipolar
1 and
schizophrenia.
Yeah,
But it's you have to have the whatever. What are you having bipolar 1? What is it called?
The psychosis.
Yeah, that you have to have that in the schizophrenia too. And it doesn't mention her wanting to.
But if it's combined, that's not the part of bipolar that it has. If it's
Okay, then I don't.
I think schizophrenia alone doesn't stop with swings at all. Right?
What?
There's nothing about schizophrenia itself that explains the mood swings. And that's an important part of it too, right?
Yeah, the mood swings.
Yeah.
I am thinking it's schizoaffective because of the mood swings. Because
Yeah, but I also agree. That's why I was debating between bipolar ones, because they're highs and lows.
and it's laying in bed.
yeah, that's
Yes.
why I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
So, it would make
That's
sense.
they don't talk.
Bipolar alone doesn't explain the schizophrenia.
This is hard.
Right? There's no.
Yeah, and all the voices and
Okay, I'll go with
aliens
that.
and stuff.
I'll go with that.
Treatment plan. What do you think? Medication, good. Therapy.
Yeah, I think medication would help a lot.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Okay, some kind of therapy for bipolar.
All right. So looks like we're
Yeah.
good. All right. What does this person have? Schizoaffective.
Hey, good job,
Okay,
guys.
why?
Good job.
So take a look. Here is why. Here's the difference. In schizophrenia and in bipolar 1, there is psychosis, all right? But the difference is in bipolar 1, it's only during mania. In schizophrenia, it can be anytime, all right? Now, schizoaffective is a combination of both. So like schizophrenia, the psychosis can be anytime, but they also have the highs and lows of the mood disorder, all right? Schizophrenia in and of itself, if there's a mention of mood disorder, it can't be just schizophrenia, all right? So here, the highs and lows was mentioned. She's experiencing a series of highs and lows. She can't get out of bed. And then this was really the difference between bipolar and schizophrenia, regardless of her mood. So if it were just bipolar 1, she would only have psychosis during mania, but this could be at any time, which makes it schizoaffective. That's a tough one. You guys did great. All right, case study 6. This is going to be a dual diagnosis, so we'll just listen really quick, and then instead of practicing the 45 seconds, see if you can come up with it, all right? There will be several cases that have 2. We're going to see tomorrow if you can figure it out on your own that it's 2. If you're not figuring it out, we will let you know, typically, that it is a dual, but we try to make you see if you can get it first, okay? Kristen.
Kristen is a 38-year-old divorced mother of 2 teenagers. Kristen has overcome a lifetime of feeling inadequate and never quite feeling good enough. In high school, she would constantly try to convince her mom to let her stay home on test days because she couldn't face the stress of school that day. Therapy largely gave Kristen the skills needed to get through college and establish her career. Kristen has had a successful, well-paying career for the past several years in upper-level management. Even though she has worked for the same thriving company for over 6 years, coworkers describe her as extremely shy and sensitive to constructive criticism. She's found herself worrying constantly about losing her job and being unable to provide for her children. This worry has been troubling her for the past 8 months. Despite her best efforts, she hasn't been able to shake the negative thoughts and sometimes won't get out of bed. Ever since the worry started, Kristen has found herself feeling restless, tired, and tense. She often paces in her office when she's there alone. She's had several embarrassing meetings where she lost track of what she was trying to say. When she goes to bed at night, it's as if her brain won't shut off. She finds herself mentally rehearsing all the worst-case scenarios regarding losing her job, including ending up homeless.
Okay, take 1 minute. See if you can diagnose it, both disorders, and then we'll discuss. Okay? Pull out the obvious one first. See if you can get the not so obvious one second.
General anxiety.
Yeah, I've seen another anxiety producing kids personality.
I don't know, because it's just like all worry.
Yeah, there was
Is it a personality disorder?
There's like
Thinking you're not
stress, and she's not feeling good enough. That is
sensitive to
scary tomorrow, bro.
constructive criticism. That was, I remember writing that down on one of them somewhere.
Let's see. It's not antisocial. It's not cluster A, right?
That's crazy.
So look,
All right, we're going to run out of time, so let's pause. Kristen has, I heard a lot of gab. That was good.
Avoidant.
That is correct. And avoidant. Why avoidant? In the passage, it talked about how she was extremely shy and sensitive to constructive criticism. Don't move. Sit. That is why, and then obviously the gag part. Listen, I highly suggest you go to Quizzes and you practice diagnosing the disorders. I also suggest if you had nothing to talk about or not enough with your therapy methods that you practice that tonight. Maybe take some of the Quizzes disorders and see if you can treat it and give yourself 45 seconds to talk about it out loud. All right, see you tomorrow.